Hey everyone, it is Brittany here with Green Bee Floral. If you are new to our channel, we are a 5th year, 2.5 acre cut flower farm and boutique floral shop located in small town Southwestern Ontario, Canada. You can support our channel by liking our content and subscribing. If you would like more flower farming content, please consider becoming a member of our channel. Proceeds from memberships help to support our farm and family directly. It is golden hour here at the farm. We are going to be doing a little bit of a pick tonight. Wanted to come through first and show you the zinnia patch. So this is the first year we've sprayed our zinnias. The homeowners here at the Old Drive plot, they actually have vegetable farmed for many years. And so the homeowner actually came through this past weekend and sprayed our zinnias for rust. So rust is that little like brown spot that zinnias get that kind of starts at the bottom and works its way up the plant. Now, because they also spray their tomatoes, she came through and did all of our zinnias for us this weekend. Because it has been so muggy, so humid, and so rainy, the rust was getting on the zinnias just so much earlier this year than we've seen it in the past. And this was the first year where I've just finally been like, you know what, we're gonna choose our battles. So they came out for us and dealt with the rust, and our zinnias are looking so much better out here, and I'm very pleased. So it's been every summer, I think the challenges are a little bit different, where sometimes you just have to fight the battles that are worth fighting. We are not an organic farm. We would never claim to be an organic flower farm. The reason for that is largely because right next to us, right, is soybeans planted in the field, and so logistically we cannot claim to be something that we are not. So instead we decided to use their knowledge and their resources a little bit to our advantage this year, because zinnias are in fact one of our most profitable crops. And so I wanted to make sure that they look beautiful, and they're looking much better than they were a week ago. Now, behind me here as well is also where the precious metals zinnias from Floret are. We have some of the unicorn mixed down on the end. Alpero? I don't know. I honestly don't remember what I bought. There's a video. We'll go back. And I'm going to give you kind of my honest review of the seed. So first of all, in the celosia section, I don't actually remember what in there is her celosia, and I can guess, but I'm not 100% sure, because we've grown so many different types of like pompous plumes and terracotta celosias over the years. Regardless, the celosia looks great. With the zinnias, I will say this: we are growing in zone 6A. We are in the middle between the Great Lakes, and there's a lot of humidity here. The Floret varieties of zinnias, we were absolutely by far the first zinnias to get rust. But the colors on them are stunning. The blooms themselves, I think, are actually slightly smaller than what I was expecting to see. I think I was expecting to see stuff that was a little bit more like Binary Giant sized zinnias. These are probably closer to the Queen Lime series, so they're still a good size, but you do definitely need to leave them on the stem longer in order to develop more petals, because otherwise they are like single petaled zinnias. I probably would order them again if they're available. We really like the colors. However, that is just one thing I noted, where next year I think we're going to have to preemptively come in and treat them for rust earlier, because it's the rust in the zinnia patch started in the Floret seeds and spread everywhere else. So just full disclosure on that. That said, these apricot ones here, so this is what I want them to look at, right? Multiple ruffles. I think these are from the Alpenglow packs. Stunning. Absolutely, absolutely stunning. The precious metals ones are down here. And that blush is just something that I've never seen before in a zinnia. It's absolutely beautiful. But you can see I've got the queen limes planted right beside. So the comparison, you know, in bloom size there, they're definitely more, you know, the size of the queen series than perhaps like the Benary series. This might be my favorite row of zinnias. Now this is what I mean when I say that I don't know which ones are the florets. I think this one might be from the Spun Sugar series here. I think this one might be. But we also have a lot of like, you know, just like standard kind of Pampas plume in here as well. The celosia kind of got mixed together when it went in the ground. Oops, it happens. But the reason I say it's difficult is because we planted a section of seed in here as well that was just seed that Nick had saved a couple years ago. And then I also have a lot of like over here, the terracotta here, the Solway terracotta, and then the Solway white on this side here, which really look very good too. They're also probably some of the floofiest Benaries this year. I think because we've had so much rain, the Benary zinnias are just like, they're so fluffy. They're so fluffy. Now this looks currently very unexciting behind me. However, these few rows, these are the Cafe Olays. And our first Cafe Olay of the season is ready. If you've followed our channel for the last couple of years, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with Cafe Olay. She is gorgeous. The bugs love her. And because we grow so many dahlias now, it is not worth it for us to go through and cover dahlias anymore with like organza bags. That was great when we were not growing nearly as many dahlias as we now are. However, she is ready. She is beautiful and I'm quite excited. So I'm gonna go snip her and we're going to show you. Can you even handle how brilliantly gorgeous this dahlia is? Now this is a Cafe Olay Royal, so she's a little bit more blush, kind of fuchsia-y with the undertones there than the standard Cafe Olay. We grow Cafe Olay Royal, and then we also have Cafe Olay, like the latte version, which is a much more like creamy cafe creme. I think it's called Cafe Olay creme. Anyways, oh, love her. Literally so beautiful. Now it is early in the season still for dahlias, but our Boom Boom Whites have been putting out an absolutely wonderful show, which is great. I'm going to be picking a bunch of these. We have 17 flower subscriptions headed out this weekend. So we are putting at least one, maybe two of these dahlias in every single one of the subscriptions. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut those for us now. So now we're making our way over to the Lisianthus row. So the first thing I will say is that we're gonna need to plant a lot more Lisianthus next year. As it turns out, I really like it, which isn't surprising, obviously, in the least. It's an extraordinarily stunning flower. But we had just planted a bit just to try it, and I've been really impressed with it. There's also a lot of weeds here, so anyways, I've been really spectacularly impressed with it. And so we made a full list, I think, of the Lizzie that we're going to grow next year. But I did want to note, there we go. I did want to note that I do think we're going to plan to grow it by seed again. I wasn't expecting that. I think that the seeds would do so well, right? Like the Lisianthus it's at least up to like my knee, which is a good height considering that when you cut Lisianthus, you're either cutting it as a one and done, or if you can get it early enough in the season. So like we have some here that I'm going to try and push a second flush out for Thanksgiving. Depending on, you know, how early your Lisianthus is, you may be able to get 2 rounds of it. The benefit, obviously, of getting plugs is that the full tray is, you know, grown. Lisianthus, we've talked about this, difficult. However, I see a row of Lizzie behind me here, so we're gonna go pick that as well because I would like to get it into the subscriptions as well that are going out tomorrow. I've got ideas. Oh, they're gonna be so pretty. Anyways, let's get to it. I don't think I need to like migrate you here so that you can get this and like, oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. Listen, all that heartache from the beginning of the season, and like the stems are so good. We typically pick when there's at least like 2 to 3 blooms. So the important thing to note with Lizzie is that these buds on the side here, these guys, aren't going to bloom, right? Once they're cut off. So you can do 2 things with Lisianthus. You can either go through and deadhead that center bloom that blooms first. Now when I get them typically from wholesale, I get them, they look like this, so that's kind of what I aim to cut. But oh my gosh. Anyways, I figured I would show you kind of where we cut this one here. So this one, you can see we've got 2 really big blooms here, so I'm just going to go in. I leave 2 sets of leaves at the bottom and then just snip. Now this one is actually already put out a second shoot here, so I will hopefully from that one have a little bit of extra flowers coming by thinking probably Thanksgiving. We'll cover these. Lisianthus can handle a little bit of cold, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. I also have the white starting here as well. And just, if you haven't grown farm Lisianthus before, those blooms are absolutely massive. These I am gonna pinch to get open because a couple weeks our wedding season starts and I want to have as much of this kind of stuff stockpiled in the cooler as possible. So that is where we were at on the farm. So it wasn't a huge harvest tonight. There's obviously a lot more, you know, that can be picked, but my goal tomorrow then is to take you along while we make some of our subscription bouquets so you can see what those look like from the farm perspective. So we'll catch up again, hopefully tomorrow. It is now the next day, so we have brought everything to the store this morning, and it is like now after 3 in the afternoon. We've had a day. It's now time to start making subscriptions. So we have 17 bouquets to make. They are going all over the place to local towns as well. We've got some that are coming in and being picked up here tomorrow. And I'm not working by like a specific recipe on these, but I know what the dollar amount should be for these subscriptions, which is about like between $35 and $40. We have sunflowers going in these. We have Lysianthus going in these. We've got dahlias going in these, and some really, really beautiful zinnias. So we're gonna get started on them because they're gorgeous. Can't wait. And we'll take you along for the process, and we can all ogle the flowers together. So here's some of the flowers then that we actually have for the subscriptions. Sunflowers that are going out. Now these were picked at this stage here, right? I mean, I think every flower farmer YouTuber will tell you the same thing, which is pick the flowers, especially sunflowers when they're opening like this. We will sometimes pick them even when they're tight and you just have like one petal that's starting to come loose, and that'll give the customers the longest vase life. We have those. We've got the Lysianthus, right, that we picked yesterday. So pretty. We've got dahlias here. We have celosia here. This celosia is the spun sugar celosia from Floret. The color is really quite lovely. So we will keep seed from these for next year because that's what she told us to do. And then these, of course, are the flamingo feather celosia, the blush, which is really, really lovely. We also have this bucket full of straw flower, which has been doing really well this year. Straw flower is another one that we sell a lot of wholesale, so we planted a lot of it this year, but it sounds so cool. I also have a bucket full of luscious cosmos. These are the cranberry double click cosmos, and then I also have some of the lavender and then some of the bicolor as well. The cosmos are really starting to perk up now. Oh, and then we've got some whites. Cosmos are really starting to perk up now. With all the rain, they had a really slow start. If you know anything about cosmos, you know that they like terrible soil and terrible conditions, which normally we have. This year, we've had a lot of rain, which inevitably has made them kind of angry. So now that they're starting to dry out a little bit, they are starting to perk up a lot, and they are producing some really nice, big, luscious flowers. And then lastly, we have a couple buckets of assorted zinnias. So I didn't pick any of the Floret zinnias for these. Those I'm going to leave yet on the farm for another weekend. I really want a lot of those to put a lot more petal quantity. Layers. I would like them to put a lot more layers of petals on. It's just so that we're getting them to look as full and beautiful as some of the Queen Lime series are right now. It really does help to actually keep your zinnias on longer before you cut them. So you can see here, even though this zinnia passes the wiggle test, it does still have more layers of flowers in there, of petals in there. So if we had left it on yet, it would have produced more petals and a fuller bloom, similar to like this guy right in here, right? Obviously the thing is that we needed to pick the zinnias, so that had to be done. But in an ideal world, when you have, you know, a third of an acre of just zinnias, you can leave them to get to this point, which is when they look most lush. And I really like these. The green ones, the Queen Lime blushes, are really, really pretty this year. So they've done well. So let's go and make some bouquets. Next bunch we're gonna do some like champagnes and like ruby purples. Trust me, I got a vision for this. Because the first round here done is very like yellow, very apricot-y. So the next we're gonna do 5 bouquets. We're still gonna use the yellow because we have the yellow sunflowers, but I think I might see how many of the white lights we can push. And do like the cranberry cosmos and some of the like feather celosia. And some of the darker zinnias. So I got vision. You just gotta trust me. And then this is what this one looks like, all wrapped up. The dark and the green is very pretty. Floret celosia, and then that really beautiful Zinnias. Got that recipe done, what I'm actually going to do is start wrapping them up. We like to choose tissue paper that matches, so because everything in these bouquets is very like pinks and apricots and champagnes and white, I'm actually going to choose a green tissue for this. So I think that's going to look really nice when it goes together. It'll make the customers really happy. So we're going to wrap these up now. Or 4x4, 18 inch by 18 inch. I know words. Paper for this. Fold the end up just a smidge kind of on an angle so that it looks kind of like this. Then we slide the tissue paper in so you get this. We're going to take our bouquet, we're going to lay it flat on top, and wrap it up around, kind of adjust it if you need to. So for instance, that sunflower is going to be kind of a pain, so I'm just going to shimmy it, and then that's what it looks wrapped. We tie everything with jute twine. These I get off Amazon. Around to the bottom it goes. Get a bow. Business card is always attached. The staple this way. When you do this way, you don't need the extra staple. So we can just go ahead, staple the business card, get both pieces of paper in that staple, and it is done. So this is going to go in the bucket. So you guys haven't met Jasmine yet. The Jasmine's back there. Say hi, Jasmine. Thank you. She's new to the Green Bee team. She's currently processing eucalyptus. And Jasmine, we did Jasmine's wedding in June. Way to be on that. You're like, yeah, they did a great job. It's been a couple days since the last footage that I took, and I'm actually out here in our sunflower patch, and they are ginormous this year. There was, I don't know if I posted the footage of it last year, but the year before anyways, you can go back and look at our channel, and honestly the sunflowers were like, they're up to my waist, right? They were not tall. This year, with all the rain that we've had, both from like the remnants of Hurricane Beryl and just general rain that we've had here in Southwestern Ontario, they're beautiful. We'll come through later this evening and grab the rest of these sunflowers, but I'm quite pleased with how the farm is looking this year. It's been wonderful to be able to fill our subscriptions up just with, you know, so much of our own beautiful flowers this year. And I really feel like the farm has kind of finally come into its own this season. Obviously every year there's still a lot of things that, you know, that you're learning and changing and you know, shifting because stuff changes, and you know, every season that you're growing is different. But you know, sitting here now and it's the second week of August and there's mosquitoes everywhere, and I cannot get over how lucky we are that this is what we get to do. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it for us. If you have any questions, of course, post those below. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.